My name is Christopher Church. I am a battlefield tour guide for the Royal British Legion. We've centred our tour around the town of Ypres, which was the centre of a number of very big battles during the First World War. On the first day, we will go to the Leisenhoek Cemetery, which is the site of a field hospital. We will go to the Plug Street Memorial, which is an experience for young people and gives them a lot of information about what happened in that area. And finally, we will go to a place called Polygon Wood, where the Worcestershire Regiment fought an extraordinary battle in late October 1914.
Some people actually are like rows of people that died the same day, surprisingly, and we even found two brothers that died the same day.
On the second day, we are going to go to Essex Farm, where Colonel John McCrae, a Canadian doctor, wrote that famous poem, In Flanders Fields. We will then go to the In Flanders Field Museum, which is in the Cloth Hall in the centre of Ypres, which has a huge amount of information and is an interactive museum for young people.
The museum was very interesting because it shows you both point of views from the German side and the English, French and Scottish side. It just wasn't very pleasant in general.
We will go to a place called Hill 60, where the Germans used poison gas early on in the war.
The crater was in the middle of a forest, and it explained that it was a huge mine, which was like about lots of tons, and it killed so many about 600 Germans. And now there's a little pond in it, strangely.
In the evening, we will go to the Menin Gate, where a ceremony is held every night in remembrance of those that have fallen. That is something very well worth doing.
There were 3 people from our class who took a poppy wreath to remember the soldiers, so that was quite nice.
On the third day, we are going to start by going to a place called the Hooge Crater. There's a trench system there so that students can actually have a look at what it was like and perhaps get some idea of what living in the trenches was like.
Yeah, it helps because you feel like you're in the same place. It feels, a bit astonishing that people 100 years ago went here and battled in the fields.
What you think about is something big went off. You don't suddenly think, oh no, lots of people might have died because it's the war. You think, how did that happen? And why would you do it?
It's very cautious when you think about it. If you put your head up, someone might just kill you, and there's mud and leaves, and they explained that water used to be at your knees, so you could catch a disease easily.
Finally, we will go to Tyne Cot, and Tyne Cot is the biggest British military cemetery in the world. There are almost 12,000 graves.
Fortunately, sometimes there isn't no names, but it was written a soldier known to God.
In other words, a British soldier identified by the uniform that he was wearing, but nobody knows who he was. But this, for the young people, will be quite a sobering experience.
We tried to look sometimes for the names of people in our classes or ancestors.
I think one of the things that strikes one is just how shocked they are when we begin to describe what happened. But they do get a clear impression of just what sacrifice was made.
Yes, I think the number of people that came, about 10 million people. And so that shocked me a lot because it was a shock to everyone.
Just in one big graveyard there were 10,000.
I think that the feeling I take home is actually realise how horrible it was to be in the trenches. Because when you think about it, you just think a hole deep down, but it's much more to it.
It's basically sacred because you just remember about the things that people did for the country.
I've met youngsters who I've taken years after the event who say, I will never forget what we saw there. So from that point of view, it really is quite important.